guys, welcome to my tarot channel. Please check for timestamps below so you can hop directly to a tarot reading for Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Hello Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my tarot channel. We are going to do your tarot love reading for January of 24. Happy New Year, guys. This is going to be all about your person, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their goals, their actions towards you, if any. So let's do it. Please come into the reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, please do push them aside. Trust your own intuition in terms of receiving only the messages that are meant for you. You also may want to revisit them at a later time or date. Let's set the intention to get you some helpful, clear, insightful messages about the person on your mind. If you don't currently have a person, this might not resonate for you at the time, but again, feel free to revisit it later. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, just an energy check-in, optional advice, guidance, etc. All right, let's do it for Taurus. All right, so we got maybe a little bit of tricky energy here. So bottom of the deck is Eight of Pentacles, which is an excellent worker card. So my first reaction to this is somebody is probably throwing themselves into their work so that they can forget the trouble in paradise, or, you know, take their mind off of the current love situation that seems to have a little bit of struggle with the sword cards here. So the first card representing them is the Nine of Thames. It's the Nine of Swords. So that's sleepless, restless nights, being kind of up at night or just having a lot of things going on or going through their head and not necessarily feeling like they have the solutions for them. Whenever the swords are pointed down, it usually indicates that this person isn't necessarily vibing high, not necessarily receiving messages from the higher power, the divine, you know, something that's going to bring them clarity or help guide them, because they're not really open to receiving those, right? It's almost like they're trying to solve all the world's problems when maybe they just need to break it down one at a time, or maybe in time answers will come, but they might be trying to force a reconciliation, a reunion, or anything, force some sort of scenario that it's just not playing out how they had hoped, and they seem to be a little bit lost in their thoughts. Aw, my Taurus, your person. Let's see. So what are they feeling? They're feeling a lot. So I actually do like the High Priestess coming up in the feelings. It is a card of Cancerian energy, right? The High Priestess represents Cancer, kind of the moon, the mother, that sort of thing. Quite literally has like the pot of water representing our psychic abilities, our emotions, our compassion, our feelings. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. This card could go either way, though. I do think they're having feelings for you. I don't question that at all. But I also think that they're worried. I don't know, the fact, I don't want to jump ahead, but the fact that their action is Three of Swords, especially that depiction of it, I'm sort of getting the sense that you guys had a falling out, or there was a disagreement or something that didn't work out. And so this almost seems a little bit like spell work, or trying to do something where they're trying to win back your affection. And maybe they're just doing, you know, new moon, full moon rituals. We're just coming off of that Cancerian full moon. So yeah, you know, that makes sense. But, you know, when the full moons are out, typically it kind of represents the idea of things being really illuminated, where there was maybe a lack of clarity or a lack of decision making, or just feeling, you know, left out in the cold or foggy, you know, things like that sort. With the full moon, it's the brightest the moon will be, right? It's that light in the sky. So even at night, we're able to see things with more depth, with more clarity, right? We're able to have a better vision of what's to come. I think they want a future with you. I think they're wanting to revisit this, but they may also be into kind of, I'll say manifesting, right? Nothing wrong with that, but I'm hoping there's not like some black magic type stuff going on too. I can't quite tell with that High Priestess. What's the general vibe here for Taurus? They may have strong Cancer in their chart too. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, I think they're trying to manifest a second chance with you, or a future, or I'm going to use the word maybe trying to scheme to get back in your life. Maybe just a little bit. And then in terms of what are they communicating, the Three of So what is your person communicating to you? With the Three of Pentacles, this is about progress. This is about wanting to establish a solid foundation with you. We're not quite at the Four yet, which typically denotes comfortability, stabilization, security, right? So we're working our way towards that. And maybe this has to do with working their way back into getting your trust, feeling like they're a person that's going to show up and be responsible and mean what they say and say what they mean, that kind of energy with the Three of Pentacles. But ultimately, they're at least thinking of wanting to build something with you. I'm sort of getting this metaphor of like Superman opening up his shirt and revealing like the big S logo of his thing. It's like, I think they see themselves as having the ability to step up and sort of, I don't know if it's be a changed person or show up the way they know you need them to, and maybe something got in the way of that. Again, maybe they're struggling with some mental health stuff, maybe they have stress going on at home. I see them wanting to show up in a big way, but I think right now maybe they're just thinking about it. I don't know if they're necessarily communicating that to you, but you probably sense it, right? You're watching this reading. And then in the future goals, essentially, they have the Ten of Pentacles. So, I mean, they do want the happily ever after. They see themselves in a committed, dare I say, traditional partnership, maybe doing, the house and the cars and the kids and all that. It's kind of like the fairy tale ending. And that doesn't have to look the same for every one of you out there. Maybe some of you don't want kids or you don't want this, piece of that. But it's sort of like, we take the nuclear family, the idea of, what the perfect happy family looked like, whatever their version of that is, that's their goal. They want to get to that. And so, I mean, this is your reading. So I'm thinking they see you as something that they need to work hard in order to get themselves to be at a place where they can show up in this relationship with authenticity and open-mindedness. And then in terms of their action, what actions are they taking? Interesting, they have the Three of Swords. So in this deck, it's called the Three of Athames. Typically, the Three of Swords is not a great action card, but it does denote healing that is on the horizon, working on some healing trauma or healing triggers, whatever it is inside of them. I like that, but this is an interesting Three of Swords because it kind of feels like they're actually coming towards you. There is a little bit of action, right? It is ultimately a Libra card, so there's air energy. So I feel like their action is mentally preparing themselves to have an open discussion, open forum with you. It quite literally feels like the unexpected knock at the door. So I'm not saying you guys literally need to be worried that this person's going to show up, though, maybe that wouldn't be unusual for some of you. But it could be that you get maybe an unexpected text or something kind of out of the blue, especially if they've gone silent on you for a bit, or vice versa. I'm almost getting the idea that maybe you had to pull back because it was adding more stress and drama to your life that you didn't really need. That kind of showed itself. Yeah, so the Ace of Pentacles. I think this is like a new offer, but I think there's an understanding that things here have to change a little bit because obviously there's a reason why this is having some challenges, right? So we can't just gloss over them and ignore the elephants in the room. Like, we actually have to address it, the shadow stuff, the stuff that's kind of gunky and hard to look at. Once we kind of shed light on it, it becomes less scary, and this person can kind of, again, with more visibility, that full moon, maybe they're starting to understand the greater picture here and how if they make small steps or strides towards changing something in their life, then it opens up room to fully embrace you and be present in this relationship and, again, show up in a good, strong, solid way. They're almost there, right? With the Three of Pentacles to the Four, they absolutely want to build with you, but I think they're trying to respect the idea that, like, you deserve a lot. You deserve the full package, and they know that. So I think they're trying to come to you when they're closer to that. And so maybe that's what this initial reach out or communication is. Maybe it's expressing, hey, I miss you, I still think about you, but it's not necessarily like, let's meet up and start a family, or let's meet up and start a future, or let's rekindle this. There's not a lot of fire energy here, so like there's not a lot of action being taken, but I do think you're absolutely on their mind. With the Eight of Pentacles, it's like even if when they're trying to distract themselves at work, it's like their mind just always goes back to this. But the thing is, I almost see this as wanting to do work on themselves too. It's like rolling up their sleeves, Capricorn season, and slaying those inner dragons, right? Maybe this person is reaching out to a therapist or a psychologist, or again, healing some childhood stuff, whatever's going on that's kind of getting in their way to really open up their heart. I do like the Ace of Pentacles. I think there's hope for this, but it is painfully slow. But Taurus, you are one of the most patient of the zodiac signs, I must say. So, not that you ever should or could or want to put your life on pause for people, but there's potential for this to come back around later. Venus is still in Scorpio, so there's a lot of kind of relationships of the past coming back into our psyches, into our minds, and some people are exploring those, other people it's just like a fleeting thought. But yeah, there's definitely someone showing up here in your energy. For Taurus, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And then true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. That's a good card. For Taurus. And Anything else we need to know about this love reading for Taurus? Separation, sadness, bitterness, missing you, thinking about you, uncertain future. Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. Something about that felt Aquarian to me. I'm not sure why. Let's see if what comes out. And then picture, looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. Advice or guidance for Taurus in this love reading. Generosity, sow seeds of kindness. Yeah, you get what you give. Set yourself up for good karma, right? So I have a feeling this person maybe wasn't at the highest place, highest vibration, etc. towards the end of whatever you guys had, or whatever this was. Maybe it was a situationship, maybe it was a friendship that turned sour. But yeah, I would try and approach this with compassion, because your person on some level is struggling. They are very much, suffering a little bit. But with the Nine of Swords, it's mostly their thoughts. And so when they come to realize, they have the ability to change their thoughts, right? It might not be an overnight success story, but, you know, you have to at least embrace the things that are going on in order to get change, right? Zodiac signs. So you have a fellow Taurus, perhaps. You have Scorpio. You have Scorpio again, and you have another Taurus. Ooh, this feels karmic. So you have 2 Tauruses and 2 Scorpios showing up. I'm going to roll 2 more. Any other sign? Leo and Gemini want to show themselves as well. All right, and last but not least, we'll get you a Goddess Oracle card, because you are a goddess, Taurus. Let's see. Advice or guidance for Taurus. Aphrodite, romantic love. How perfect that shows up in the Taurus reading, since you're ruled by Venus and all. Oh boy, let's see if I can find it. Your alignment task is to stay present, release judgment, and see the treasure of what lies in front of you. You may discover something painful is actually a beautiful gift. Indeed, it could be exactly what you need to release old patterns that no longer serve you. Be careful of the addictive quality of longing, yearning for elusive love, and fixation on desired outcomes. That's important. This only creates more of the energy of unmet desire, and you may find yourself unable to discern what is true. Release expectations and attachments and simply see what arises. Remain aware and accountable for your side of things. Make amends if you need to, and trust that all is well. Even your partnership with the universe may need refining as you let go of your need to have things a certain way. Call upon Goddess Aphrodite to lead you to the healthier, more satisfying experience. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me today, guys. This seems hopeful. But focus on what you can control and leave the rest up to the divine. That would be my recommendation for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye. Hello, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my tarot channel, and welcome to your tarot love reading. This will be all about your person, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their goals, their actions towards you, if any, the person on your mind. If you don't currently have a person, this might not be your message this time around, or you may choose to receive it later in the future if you are thinking about someone. Please come into the reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something to better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. Again, revisit them at a later date if you feel so called to do so. Do trust your own intuition above all else, because you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right, for Leo's person. Let's do it. Coming through. Ooh, some of you got a Virgo maybe. Someone who might be in study mode right now with the Hermit. Okay. So bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords. This may actually be breaking bread after a period of silence, or after a period of waiting to see how things pan out. I don't know, waiting for some sort of results or news before they're able to move forward with something. Again, you can always choose to view this through the lens of something else, but I am reading for love. So, but they're coming through as the Holly King, which is the Hermit in this card. So Virgo energy, someone who's very studious, someone who's very practical, someone who's responsible. But overall, the Hermit card in tarot typically says someone who's kind of embarking on a new path, down a new spiritual journey. I'm almost getting it as like trying to receive messages from their environment, from the earth, from nature, because maybe they're feeling a little bit lost. It's funny that the Hermit follows the Strength card, which does represent Leo. So I almost do see this as someone who, I don't know, some sort of interaction with their Leo, right? And then maybe they kind of had to go off and do their own thing, or they were questioning if they were ready to be in a relationship. Maybe they were questioning if they were feeling it with you, or vice versa. They were questioning it with the Virgo energy. It can be a little bit nervous and not always feeling like they questioning their value sometimes. With Virgo energy, it can be this like I live to serve and like I'm never good enough, right? That's like a low vibe version of the Hermit card. So yeah, embarking down a new spiritual path, a new spiritual journey. What are they feeling currently? The Five of Cups. I think that they're still holding on to feelings and emotions for the connection here. But it's almost like they're doubting that it could come together again, or they're doubting the belief that you are still interested in them. But the thing is, they're not fully like, that's it, I'm not going to think about it. Like, they very much are. It's like they talk themselves in circles. Like, one day they're like, no, maybe I stand a chance, maybe I'll reach out, maybe Leo likes me. And then the next day, they're the complete opposite. They're very like down on their luck. Nothing ever works out for me. It's, it's up and down. With the Five of Cups, sometimes it is about cutting your losses. I don't think this, I mean, we'll see, but I don't get from this like cutting your losses in terms of like, well, that didn't work out, time to move on, which you can certainly do, right? But you are watching a reading on this person, right? So I think this is cutting your losses in terms of like a false start. It's like you guys may have met up, or maybe you dated for a bit and it didn't work out, but I almost think there's like a freshening up. And I say that because what is this person thinking? What are their plans? Or we haven't even gotten to plans, but what are they thinking? What is their processing like? The Knight of Cups, it's like making an offer. And it is a knight, right? So like it's not a page, it's not something that's really like, fly by night. Like there's progress being made here in terms of like being able to open up emotionally. That can be a real struggle for Virgo type energy, whether that's them or if that's strong in their chart. But yeah, there's almost like this more an approach where they're willing to open up a little bit more and maybe let you in, because I almost think that for some of you, that was your general aversion to this connection, is like you thought they were cute and like whatever, but then you met up and it seemed kind of like a brick wall, like you were having trouble getting through and getting the personality out. And I think this person was nervous, just because like so many people out there, they have self-worth issues, right? And sometimes those present themselves more, especially when you're in new kind of uncharted territory, new situations, new people. But I do like that they're contemplating this Knight of Cups is reaching out with some sort of emotional offer, wanting to take this to the next level, or possibly revisit this, right? In these readings, typically we get kind of like, the people that you're kind of still questioning, like what's going on with that. So in terms of their goals, they have the Nine of Wands. So this is absolutely knowing that they want to be able to open up emotionally. The Nine of Wands is the moon, which is our inner world, our instincts, our emotions, our private life, right? The moon in Sagittarius, which is a very open sign. It's very bubbly. It doesn't know any boundaries. It's all over the place. Like it's just sharing love and positivity to everyone it meets, right? So symbolically, when you bring those two together, I don't think this person is the type who's just going to like shout things from a rooftop. That's just not who they are. But with the moon in Sagittarius, at least in this reading, I'm not saying this goes across the board, but I think their goals is to be able to express themselves more, to share what's going on in, internally in the inner workings of their mind, rather than, having to make you guess or make assumptions on what they're thinking, because I don't think they were excelling with clarity in terms of where they were at with this, but they absolutely still think about it. I also think that there may have been a challenging or difficult struggle, something to do with work or career. And so it might be that they're trying to rebuild themselves back up from, I don't know if it was a job loss or a pay cut, or I'm not sure what it was, but something with work. It's like, all right, I gotta get back to it because it makes me feel good about myself. And that way I'll be in like a better headspace to approach Leo. It's funny, I keep wanting to say Virgo because of this card, but it's possible you might be cuspy, or I don't know, may involve a Virgo. So in terms of their action towards you, all right, I don't dislike the Two of Wands. I do like to see action cards, aka fire, in sort of this, are they going to take action? The Two of Wands, though, is very much still in kind of like deliberation on which action to take. So will they take action? Yes, but it's almost like they're still fine-tuning, very Virgo energy, finessing their approach, what they're going to say to you, how they're going to express themselves, because I think they know, like, they kind of already had a shot and they didn't deliver the goods, if that makes sense to some of you. you. It's not that the intentions weren't there, it's that they edit themselves a lot in public. There's like, I don't want to share too much. And honestly, that probably has to do with childhood upbringing stuff. Like I can't pinpoint it exactly, but they were probably raised in a household where you didn't talk about feelings, or you didn't express what you were excited about because that was seen as, you know, silly or inappropriate. Like Leo energy is all about self-expression. Not to say that that's always easy for you guys either, but you know, every zodiac sign kind of has their, how do you want to say it, their ultimate course of destiny. And for Leo, it's letting your sunshine. It's that authentic self-expression and being who you are unapologetically, because, you know, ultimately other people are going to see that and do the same, right? They're going to want to mimic that and be inspired by you. That's a very good fire sign energy, right? Inspiring others. So Two of Wands is a Mars card. Again, Mars in Aries. So it is about action and forward movement. I think part of them is a little bit worried that, I think they know that you will receive the message in terms of like being open-minded about it. But like, that's what I mean. Like the whole like, oh yeah, let's break bread and talk about it. But I think they're questioning if you actually see a future in this, or if you're just going to be like the nice friend and be like, oh, that's okay. Like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Like a little bit like open, but also dismissive. I hope that makes sense. I think that's sort of their fear. Like if I finally open up to them and I take that scary risk of being vulnerable and saying the things, is that going to be the thing that scares you away? Because then that's sort of going to repeat this or reinforce this long held belief that self-expression is something that they're not allowed to do. Like it has to be contained, which is absolutely not true. But maybe you're going to be the person who's the game changer there, Leo. Maybe your response and your receptiveness to them being open and honest and vulnerable and transparent with what they know their shortcomings are. Maybe you're going to be the game changer who's like, yeah, it's cool. I struggle with that too. Like, and it's kind of going to be like this exhale. I actually see that being more the case, but I'm sort of curious to pull cards and just see kind of where you're at here. Yeah, I don't know. I think their action is going to be well received. It's funny, this is supposed to be their action, like this is your person, but I'm almost getting this as you, like your action is receiving, and it's very warm and open and, oh my gosh, how have you been? I've been thinking about you, and oh my God, I saw this thing the other day. It made me think of you. Like, I think they're actually going to be quite surprised that you're just like, oh, hey. I love that. I love that, Leo. Oh, my Leo gang. Let's see. So where's Leo at with this? The Holly King, the Six of Wands. Yeah, I mean, it's a Leo card. I think, okay, I'm going to be honest with you, Leo, and I don't mean this in no, any sort of way to offend you. It's making me laugh, so like to me, it's said with like a little bit of a nudge. I think you were all about them until you met up in person and they weren't completely smitten and swooning over you, and you were like, what the F? Like I know I got it. I know I'm good. I know I have value. Like, what the hell is their problem? Why didn't they see that? It's not that they didn't see that. It's that they weren't expressing it. It's like, again, it was like that brick wall. It's like you went on a date with someone who just gave you next to nothing back because they were so in their head and nervous. And I think they were so concerned about wanting to be approachable and have you like them that they completely stripped themselves of their identity and their character and their humor. Like, there's a lot of humor. This is a very intelligent person, but when it comes to like emotional connection, they struggle with that a little bit. But at the same time, it's like part of you knew, it's like your intuition was like, I think this person's into me, but gosh, like they're certainly not indicating that in a way that I'm able to like read them well. But it's like your intuition was like, I feel like they're flirting with me, right? Like, is it like, but then part of you is like, is it in my head? Am I crazy? Like, was that a move they were making? So what are you feeling for them? Nine of Cups. Yeah, there's definitely something about this that you are excited about and enjoying. Maybe you don't see them as your long-term person. Maybe it's too soon to tell, but your wish fulfillment, I think, is to reconnect with this person with the Two of Swords. This is not the typical closed-off Two of Swords. This is, again, like, let's be open. Let's have a conversation. Let's connect. Let's shoot some messages back and forth and see what's up. You know, let's flirt. That could be that card as well. What are you thinking? Let's see. Yeah, Two of Cups. You're into it. Quit lying. You're into it. And maybe there's multiple people in your storyline here. I don't know. And then in terms of Leo, what is their goals for this relationship, if any, if they've thought about that yet? The Queen of Wands. You want to be treated. you want the passion to be expressed. You want there to be, you know, Queen of Wands, it's fiery energy. It's the work hard, play hard queen, right? But she's silly, she's fun, she's sassy, she's dramatic. Like, she knows that the world is full of possibilities and generally has like this optimistic, like, go get 'em attitude. And I think you want that in a mate. And maybe it doesn't, you know, maybe it's not being screamed from the rooftop in that way, but I think you want to feel like that electric charge. You want to feel that chemistry. You want to feel that passion. And we know you're capable of it, right? I'm sure the Queen of Wands is representing you, but I think you're looking to meet a counterpart who can kind of mirror that back to you a little bit, or not that you have to be the same, you know, opposites attract for a reason, but I think you need to know that passionate side of them does exist. Whether it's about the same things you like, that's not really the issue. It's more like, are you passionate about this connection? Like, is this something you're going to want to put the work into, but also feel the vibes, like enjoy the time we have together, right? That feels very Queen of Wands to me. You want the electric passion. You want to turn the dials up. You want to feel the heat. You want to do the sexy stuff, right? Who doesn't? All right. And then in terms of action you might take, the King of Cups. Yeah, I think you're going to be very warm and receiving, but I think you're sort of, I don't know if you're sort of waiting for this person to make the first move. That's sort of the irony here, is like, I think it would make your day if this person reached out first. But if I'm being completely honest, I get the vibe that you get impatient and you're just like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not thinking about this person. I may just reach out and put out a feeler and see. I don't think you're spilling your guts out. I don't think you're pouring your heart out of all these emotions, though you have them, King of Cups. There's a lot of love and affection and desire for something strong, like a transformative relationship. But I think you may send a text. I think you may, like, see how this woman's just kind of like waving, but she's very excited. Like, there's a warmth to her. I think you may reach out and be like, again, like, oh my gosh, I saw something the other day, I thought of you, but you know, whatever it is. Yeah, I know my my narration is always cheesy for this, but you may reach out and just see if they respond, and I think they do. I think it actually restores their confidence, that like, it confirms that, okay, not only am I thinking about Leo was kind of thinking about me too, so like, maybe I got a second chance with Leo. I feel like they're gonna be doing the happy dance. Action, the Sun. Yeah, I think you're going to brighten this person's day, quite literally. There's your card with the King of Cups. Expressing some emotion, right? Again, you don't have to pour your heart out, but I think just showing this person that you're open to some sort of loving connection, that you do have passion, that you do have enthusiasm, excitement, and can kind of hold space for this person working through the emotional aspects of themselves that, you know, again, it's hard for them to tap into that and express it with clarity. I think you're willing to give them some time and space to do that. But I don't know, to be honest, of the readings I've done, I see this one coming together a lot sooner than the others, because I think there's a mutual interest. I think this person is disappointed in themselves that they didn't show up in a better way. But again, part of me is like, they need to stop being so self-critical, because that's what's you know, shooting themselves in the foot. Is like, other people enjoy them. It would just be good if they could kind of just chill a little bit and be more comfortable in their skin and let their true, you know, vibrant personality shine, because it's in there. It's just, it takes a little bit to get to it. So, and I think you know that. I don't think you're judging this person from the get-go. I think you're wanting more passion from them, but I think that's going to come in time. And I do think if this person gets a, you know, quote unquote, a second chance with you, I think they're going to try and show up in a different way. And try to not be so in their head, which, you know, if they have a strong, you know, Mercury placements at all, they're very in their head, right? You know, they're probably a highly intellectual sign, but yeah, it's maybe hard to tap into the emotions. Maybe they're lacking fire, right? And maybe that's why they're so drawn to you. It's like that opposites attract thing. All right. So for Leo's person, anything else we need to know that would be of use, something that would be helpful? Let's see. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And then engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Love it. For Leo and their person. Leo and their person. Any other things that would be good to know for Leo who's watching this reading? Saw one turn around. Let's see what that was. Hammer. Let's see. Sabotage and rebuild. Persistence, working on it, repairing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Such a Virgo card too. The handyman, all the tools, right? Or woman. And then backstabbing, heartbreak, pain, separation, loss, deception, and lies, shocking attack. I don't think this is from your person. I think this has to do with their own self-sabotaging ways. I absolutely sense that. I want to give like both of you a big hug, but especially your person. Like it feels like they've been put through the ringer and like they've been told that like it's not safe to express your love. It's like that makes you weak. They were probably raised by someone who's like uber masculine, and there was like this kind of toxic masculinity type thing. And male or female, it's like I think your person was taught like, you know, we don't talk about those things. You have to swallow your emotions and like don't cry. It feels very like they came from like a harsh upbringing where it wasn't safe to love and express things. That makes me so sad. But I think you're going to be the one who changes that. I think you're going to let them know that. I think you're going to hold space for them and let them know like it's safe to be who you are. Like I'm not going to judge you. I love that. I absolutely love that. For Leo, there's so Virgo energy in this. I could just see the way I just like arranged the cards. Virgo's coming in on your reading big time. Big time. Not that it has to be that a Virgo, but I can sense the energy there. Retreat. Never underestimate the healing powers of a quiet moment. I think that's important too, getting comfortable in silence. There's some expression, I'm going to botch it, but it's like, you know, you're with the person that you're meant to be with when you can exist comfortably in a space in complete silence and it's not awkward or weird. That almost seems to be something here too. It's like there was nervous talking, but they actually weren't saying anything. And you were kind of like, is it my turn to speak yet? Or like, are you just going to keep rattling off about things that like, I definitely get that. You were just kind of like, what are they talking about? All right, Goddess Oracle card for Leo. That came right out. Kuan Yin, compassion. We're going to read about that in a minute. Zodiac signs that want to come out in this reading, and the Leo reading, Leo's person, zodiac signs. Aries, Leo, Cancer, and Libra. Interesting, no Virgo came out, but... All right, and then let's read your Oracle card, and we will send you on your happy way. This seems like a very... fixable situation. If you're into it, I think your person is absolutely wanting to revisit this. Okay. So let's see. Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the suffering in the world and you can't imagine how you could make a difference? Do you feel hopeless over how we treat nature and each other? The goddess Kuan Yin knows that this is an important time of reckoning and reordering, but wants you to be careful not to fall into a pit of despair. If you allow the media to fill your mind with constant barrage of what's going wrong in the world, you will be numb and unable to move. The good news is the good news is in your alignment task. First, focus your mind locally. Your choice is not to save the whole world, but to bring your attention to where you can help. Even the smallest step towards greater compassion is huge. Educate yourself about cultural issues and be more conscientious and sensitive about your choices. Lend a helping hand to someone in need. Volunteer your time and choose one act of random kindness daily to help alleviate suffering. Do what you can and make that count. Always ask in your work, in your relationships, and your community, how will what I do serve others well? Remember, if you don't get it right, you can always course correct. With commitment, you will add more beauty to the world. Everyone is learning right now, and Kuan Yin reminds you to be kind to yourself too as you accept the role in birthing a new world into being. Yeah, part of this feels very selfless. It's understanding that this person is going through a time, and rather than being demanding and going into this with certain expectations, there's like a beautiful openness to you. That's what I get from this card. It's just like, it's cool. We're all just showing up and doing our best, and we're trying, and no one's perfect. And I think you're okay with that. I think you're intrigued to see if this has some potential and where it could go. And I absolutely sense that you guys are going to reconnect. So enjoy it. Enjoy it without expectations. See what happens, Leo. Thanks for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye. Hello, Scorpio gang. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to do your tarot reading here on the subject of love, your person, what they're thinking, feeling, their goals, their actions towards you, if any, for January 2024. Happy New Year. Please come into these readings with an open heart, an open mind, a desire to learn something, to better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later date or time. Do trust your own intuition above all else. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is an energy check-in, advice, guidance regarding the person on your mind. If you don't have a person, this might be someone coming in your near future, or it might not be your message this time around. So do with these messages as you like. Let's set the intention to get some clear, helpful, insightful messages for Scorpio regarding their love life. All right. So your person showing up is Two of Cups. Love that. What they're feeling the world. What they're thinking, the Three of Pentacles. Their goals, the Ace of Cups. and their action towards you, if any. Nice. All right, cool. So let's look at this, Scorpio. So far, this actually looks really nice. This looks like it could be something cozy here. So at the bottom of the deck, you have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is like a fighting spirit, but I almost feel like this person, hang with me, I'm hearing like give up the fight. But by that, I actually like, there's like a release. Ultimately, the Seven of Wands leads to the Eight of Wands, which is about liberation. Any eight in tarot is about liberation. And so I think this person is getting to the point where in their romantic life, whether they're with you currently or interested in you, or whether you guys are already building something together, they're starting to understand the importance of release. It's like the less you try and control something, the more you allow it to thrive and give it space and oxygen. And maybe that's what this person, especially, you know, fire energy, right? I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. Maybe you're dealing with a fire sign. It needs that energy, or it needs that oxygen rather, to thrive and grow and build on itself, right? So with the Seven of Wands, I almost see this as a new understanding or approach in how they're going to go at it with you, if that makes sense. So they're showing up as, you know, energetically as the Two of Cups. So, you know, ready to come together into like a cute coupling or celebrate some sort of small achievement in the relationship with you. I love the Two of Cups. I mean, it's one of the happiest cards you can get in terms of a love reading. It's Venus in Cancer. All right, sorry about that, Scorpio. My camera just like turned off. That felt very weird. But anyway, yes, Two of Cups, beautiful. Someone who feels like home, someone you potentially view as someone you want to build something with. It's like a good foundation. It's a good start to something. So in terms of what your person is feeling, completion, harmony. It feels like they've had to overcome a lot in their love life and maybe just their own personal journey of self-growth and self-development. It feels like they're reaching a point where, I don't know, something about the snake, that feels very Scorpio to me. Something to do with the idea of cycles and completion and a feeling of accomplishment and graduation. The word freedom here is very important too. The way this like bird is just kind of flying off. It's untethered. It's not attached to anything karmically. It has this ability to float freely and therefore make like these authentic, genuine, possibly generous connections. We have to remember the World card typically depicts the 4 fixed zodiac signs, one of them being you, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. So it's almost like through the process of hard work and dedication and mastery and achievement, something here is now stable enough to stand the test of time. That's sort of how I view that. Yeah. And then in terms of what is this person thinking? They're thinking of building. The Three of Pentacles is an excellent card of teamwork. Again, it's like before, we can make this something that really thrives, we have to establish some sort of solid foundation. So like it's working its way to be that potentially. Someone may want to, this could be someone who has a crush on you, Scorpio, right? It could be someone who they've gone through their own like personal growth. And it could, I don't know if it's someone that you've actually sort of Two of Cups yet, or it's just someone who's kind of crushing on you. Maybe you know them socially, maybe they kind of watch you from afar or whatever. But I'm sort of getting this eagerness, like I'm ready, like I'm feeling like it's my time to thrive, it's my time to shine here. And so maybe in terms of thinking, they're thinking about what it would be like to approach you or what it would be like to build with you. And then in their goals, their desire for achievements, how they want to build essentially, right? That earth energy that exists in all of us. Their goals is to make some sort of offer, right? To have their cup runneth over so that they have enough to share with someone else, to meet a partner romantically who they jive and connect with and vibe with really well. Very watery, very beautiful, very emotional, very sensitive, very empathic, compassionate, intuitive, all those nice watery words. Watery words. I like the alliteration there. And then in terms of their action, love it. They have an action card. So knights always bring change and movement into our life. Typically the Knight of Swords carries with him an important message. Depending on the depiction, sometimes the knight, and it's called the Knight of Athames in this deck, it is the Knight of Swords. Sometimes this knight can appear very rushed, almost sort of like this nervous kinetic energy of I just have to say everything really quickly and get it out. Here, there's a little bit more of there's a better pacing to it. It's almost like rather than the Gemini version of communication, it's the more Virgo. It's the more practical thinking. It's more planned out. It's plotted out. It's a little bit more strategic so that when they do approach you, like they want to make sure it's like they're putting their shutting off. Mercury is in retrograde, so I'm going to try and deliver these messages if the universe will let me. Anyway, yes, somebody coming at you, Knight of Swords, within a message about where they are emotionally, something they want to share with you. I I think they're almost feeling like they need to be strategic because they're already having suspicions that they don't know how it's going to land with you. Like, I don't know, I almost get this person is just feeling kind of dissatisfied with life right now. Like maybe they're going through a slump or they're down in the dumps. Maybe they're coming off of some heartbreak or coming off of rejection or disappointment in a past relationship. This person seems very eager to deliver this sort of message of cups energy, having feelings for you or whatever. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it's going to be met here because it seems a little bit, I don't know, this Four of Cups, it's Moon in Cancer, so it can be kind of moody. It has a great capacity to feel, but sometimes it absorbs a lot of the energies around it. So in terms of what, I don't know if this is representing you or them, but in terms of what this person is feeling, it's not always the purest form of like the authentic emotion existing within them. It can be like a sponge and start to absorb all the other emotions around it. So I don't know, this could be a feeling of being a little bit overwhelmed too. Or waiting till the moment's right. It's almost like energetically they're trying to feel it out when would be a good time to approach you or ask you out, or I don't know, maybe if you're already together, bring it to the next level. Three of Pentacles is thinking about building upon what we have, right? And it could be too, like, I could see this in many stages. So again, only take what resonates. But for those who are already in a solid partnership and you're kind of checking in to see like, hey, where is this going? Is it progressing? Yeah, it's almost like emotionally this person feels like you've already celebrated and accomplished something very well together. So in terms of where can we branch out and go from here, they're definitely thinking of like shaking it up in terms of bringing in, let's do it this way. I think they are considering what it would be like to take this relationship further, to continue to build it. And for some of you, maybe that involves having children. Maybe that involves expanding out and quite literally building the family. There may have already been talks or discussions or ideas about starting a family. If it's not that, it could be moving in together. It could be getting like a pet. It could, you know what I mean? It's like adding to the already really good foundation that we have if you're already in something. I'm confused by this Four of Cups though. And I don't know if it's a blending of energies here too. It could be Scorpio that you're waiting to hear from somebody else while somebody else comes in and approaches you with a message of love. There's suspicion or distrust that this message is going to be received the way they intend it to be. So I'm thinking that maybe you have some hesitation or feel like you're holding back or not trusting this connection, or you just have reservations for whatever they're proposing or pitching. Maybe you're not ready to move in together. Maybe you're just enjoying what this is and you're not necessarily looking to push it to the next level. But someone definitely is. Someone is definitely sort of like, I don't want to say keeping score, but they definitely kind of have a running list in their head of like ticking the boxes of the ways that you kind of bring joy into their life and feeling like a sense of completion. But it's like with the Seven, like there's still a few more things they're looking to, I don't know how to phrase it. There's still a few more things they're looking to create with you in some way. So I wonder if there's a difference of opinion there. I do think there's going to be a lot of message and communication. It might not be here currently, but I would say in maybe late January, it's possible. There could be some very, I'll say heavy conversations. It doesn't mean they're not enjoyable, but they're weighted heavy topics. Like there's an importance to them. There's a lot of weight to them. So where is Scorpio for all this? Because so far this actually looks good, but then we have this kind of like, where is Scorpio in regards to their person? How is Scorpio showing up? So Queen of Pentacles, all right. Some of you're worried about timelines. You're worried about the time or the limitations or the amount of time available you have to spend with this person. It could be that you're worried about constraints regarding work or family. There could be things where it's like, time is of the essence and you feel like you need to hop on this, and yet at the same time you're kind of like, but I'm not, it doesn't feel right to go gung-ho on this. Know your value, know your self-worth with the Queen of Pentacles. That's always important. I feel like there's something about a grandmother spirit coming through, someone who is very close or was very close to a grandmother or maternal type spirit. There's like a guardian angel watching over you, particularly a Capricorn. So how's my Scorpio feeling? The Two of Pentacles. You may have emotional options, and it's almost like you're waiting for a parting of the clouds to understand which you want to move forward with. Now, if you're already in a relationship, maybe it's not two people, but maybe it's like investing time at work, taking on extra work projects versus, okay, if I'm thinking of starting a family, maybe I need to be better about limitations and boundaries in terms of like work-life balance. And then what is the Scorpio thinking about this connection? The Two of Wands. Interesting. So again, some indecision. The Two of Wands. I think having your own space is in itself a comfort and a safety zone for you. Yeah, there might be some reservations about moving in together, and possibly just sort of thinking, contemplating what action you're going to take, the Two of Wands, how you want to move forward with this, especially if someone starts proposing ideas about building into the future with you. And then what are your goals, if any, towards this relationship? Are you looking for distance? Are you looking for more communication? Are you looking for more intimacy? What does Scorpio want out of this relationship? The Ten of Wands. Oof. It's feeling like a lot of work to you right now, or you're at a place where it's like you don't have too much more to give. So yeah, I sort of sense that you're not looking to up and change this all that much. And I'm not sure, maybe Scorpio, if this is something you view more as a friendship than anything else. Even if you are kind of dating, you may still be coming to terms with the fact that I'm not sure how much I'm in this for the long term. I think you're contemplating it. I think you're thinking about it and considering it. But you seem to be much more ambivalent about like the absolute certainty of communicating this or feeling that. It's like back and forth. There's like this, some days I'm in, some days I'm out. I think goals, it's like working through the challenges you're being presented right now. But in terms of action you're going to take towards this person, Scorpio, what is the Scorpio going to do? The Page of Cups. I think you're going to express authentic emotions, and I think you're going to say, this is all I can give at this point, or this is all I'm able to kind of volunteer myself for. I mean, there is cup energy here, so I don't question there is some emotion and some feelings and some, it's very cute, it's very sweet, it's like flirtatious, but okay, you have a lot of twos, and then the Ten of Wands is ultimately I believe it's Saturn. Yeah, it's Saturn and Sagittarius. So it's not going to be all fun and games. Maybe maybe this is out of the honeymoon stage of the relationship, and you're starting to see that, to get any seed to grow, you have to nurture it, and you have to devote and dedicate yourself and put in the time and effort. And maybe you're spread too thin. Maybe you just have a lot going on with Queen of Pentacles, maybe at work or family commitments. So maybe you are wanting this relationship to stay where it is. Again, that fixed energy of like, I like this and I want to hold on to it. It can be very like, I don't want to say clinging, but it's like, yes, I want to hold on to this, but also it's like, it doesn't have that fire under it that's keeping it warm and keeping it kind of brewing and allowing it to kind of, again, breathe life into it so that it feels fresh and reviving. For some of you, it's like you're going through like a challenge in this relationship. What is the challenge here? I think you have a vision for it. It's like you can see the end game. You're just not sure how to get there. Maybe there's obstacles in the universe keeping you apart. Maybe you live in very different cities. So maybe you don't get to see this person as much, and it would require you changing locations or vice versa. And maybe your person is ready to do that and you're still not absolutely certain. I'm hearing like I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like I'm very dedicated to whatever this is, and like it's like I'm not giving up on it. I'm not quitting on it. But yeah, it's like, but not all has been revealed yet. With the Hanged Man, there's something that you quite literally have some sort of hang up about, like, is it worth all this effort I'm putting in, or like I'm putting in all this effort and I'm not seeing the results. So something to do with delays, right? With the Oak King, that's the Hanged Man, something to do with delays. Let's see. For Scorpio, what can I tell them about this relationship? Your person seems like they're all in. But I think they're sensing that you're having some sort of doubt, or I don't know, maybe it's an internal thing with Moon and Cancer. Maybe there's something you're just kind of grappling with internally that's not allowing you to fully be present in this relationship the way you used to be or the way you'd like to be. For Scorpio. Scorpio and their person. Oh my goodness. Too many cards. But we'll take these. Blow and kiss, unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection returned. Then we have picture, looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. So maybe, I don't sense third party stuff here per se. It's possible that there's still sort of the interference of something that hasn't fully been released from your past. I'll put it that way. Maybe somebody's having doubts when something from the past comes back to maybe trigger them, right? Mercury retrograde. And then the butterfly, evolving and growth, next phase, healing inner child, and releasing the past. There we go. There's that releasing the past. I love the butterfly. That's a great Scorpio card. See if my camera stays on for me. I feel like I'm rushing this only because my Mercury retrograde is attacking my technology right now. But this was such a good reading, I didn't want to like not keep going. Then adapt. You will get yourself where you want to be. Yeah, so maybe this is saying, you know, take it a step at a time. The right person will wait for you, and vice versa, right? There's not a ton of fire, so I don't think there's a lot of forward-moving energy right now. It feels a little bit stuck. It feels a little bit delayed. It feels a little bit Neptuned. Some confusion, some doubt, some guilt, you know, even with Neptune energy. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So what is this person's red flags? You probably already know what they are, right? as the color red pops out. What are they? And what about them? Do you think it's highlighting insecurities in you, the things that you're seeing that's uncomfortable? What is it telling you about yourself too? Because yes, it's absolutely about them, but it's also about you, right? People are just mirroring back like the phase of the relationship that we're in too. So you're going to meet people who are kind of on a similar path, a similar trajectory. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. I mean, if you don't, I think your person will. They just seem to have more certainty. But I also think that they're sensing, like, is it safe to approach Scorpio with this, or am I going to scare them off? It feels like they're like putting themselves on the line a little bit. And then very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. All right, zodiac signs involved in this reading for Scorpio. Zodiac signs that want to come through. So you have Aquarius, you have Capricorn, you have Gemini, and you have Sagittarius. And then last but not least, we'll get you a Goddess Oracle card for Scorpio. The Spider Woman, co-creation. I love that. Absolutely love that. All right, 48. I love the red color. What are the red flags? I feel like some of you need to think about that. The red flags. Okay. You must be accountable for your creations, especially when you discover they are not truly reflective of your authentic desires or reveal they belong to only your ego. It's not enough to turn your back and hope they will go away. If you have hurt someone else, you must repair the break. If you have manifested something you're not prepared to commit to, be humble and release it. The form is rarely the same as the imagined, and you can always begin again by calling on Spider-Woman's powers of wisdom and co-creation for help. Sometimes you may get caught up in the strands of webs itself, or only following the one you think is sparkly and matches your wants. This fosters the illusion of separation. Spider-Woman offers you the alignment task of recalibrating your position. With her help, you can move out of seeing the separation everywhere to seeing the truth that all life is interconnected and sacred. Ooh, I'm tongue-tied, Mercury retrograde. But hey, we made it through the reading, so thanks for joining me today, Scorpios. I hope this only helped. That's ever my intention. Remember to love yourself first, always. You're a badass. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you soon for more tarot. Take care, guys. Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot love reading. This is all about your person, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, their goals or actions towards you. Please come into these readings with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later date, especially if you don't have a person currently. This message might not be yours this time around. But again, do trust your intuition. Take only what is meant for you, because you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is just an energy check-in, right? Optional advice, guidance, see what's up with Aquarius and their person. Let's set the intention to give them some messages with clarity, please, about their person. How's their person showing up in this reading? That's the Sun. Love it. Possible Leo energy. What is their person feeling? The Ace of Cups. They feel a lot. What is this person thinking? The Four of Wands. Damn, Aquarius. Put a ring on it. And then Aquarius clicks off, right? It's like, oh no. Just kidding. All right. What are their goals? The Page of Cups. Expressing more love to you and affection. And any action towards Aquarius. Actions, if any. It's kind of out the themes. So your person loves you. They're coming in. They think you're soulmates, but they feel a little bit vulnerable expressing this to you. In summation, that's what's up here. This is beautiful. Are you kidding me? Curious to see what the challenges are here. So the Sun card. This person is presenting in this reading as a very warm, very affectionate, chatty, charismatic, sweet, nurturing vibe. Probably very creative, maybe a little bit dramatic, a little bit sassy. Probably, attracts a lot of attention, a lot of eyes, a lot of onlookers. But genuinely just has a really good heart. It's like this person knows who they are. They let themselves be present in the moment. They let themselves, their personality shine through authentically. And ultimately, the Sun card is a card of growth. It's also frequently a card of children, too. So if you're already with this person, maybe you are. This could be considering adding a child to the mix, or doing things that feel very youthful in spirit, things that are very fun. I always think of that Frank Sinatra song, "You Make Me Feel So Young." It's just like that, oh my gosh, this is like butterflies. It's that honeymoon phase of a relationship where everything is just so easy and fun, and we make silly jokes and we laugh at each other, and whatever, we ride bikes, whatever it is for you guys. It feels very youthful, but I don't mean that in an immature way. I mean it's like it's allowing your inner child to shine. There's a happiness and a joy and it doesn't feel like you have to second question yourself when you're with this person. I love this for you, Aquarius. What are they feeling? I couldn't think of a better card to come up in the feeling sector, because it's literally of the water element, right? So what are they feeling? You make their cup feel full. You make them feel appreciated and loved, and they're able to mirror that back to you. I'm not going to linger on that too long, because Ace of Cups is a blessing. It's an opportunity in love. It's a card of compassion. It's a card of holding emotions. It's a card of feeling safe. It's a card of feeling nurtured. It's a card of being with someone who maybe feels like home. And then what are they thinking or possibly communicating? You have the Four of Wands. So any four in tarot talks about a solid foundation, solidarity, stability, right? And with the Four of Wands, we have to remember wands always want to grow, right? It's an action fire type energy, right? So with this, it's like we already have a solid foundation, but there's huge potential for this to go places. Frequently, the Four of Wands is either a marriage card or a home card in terms of like moving in together, like growing the relationship. And it's also a soulmate card, right? It's the 1111 for those who are into kind of like the lucky angel numbers and all that. And it's like, yeah, this feels like a good yin to the yang. It's not to say you guys are it's not to say that you guys are carbon copies of each other. You probably have a lot of differences, but it's like those differences, when they come together, it makes this really cool kind of collage or collection of experiences where you guys can learn a lot from each other. And there's a good back and forth, right? I mean, whether it's a Leo or not is not super important here. I say that because the Leo card came out, but just by default, those are two polarities. So there is kind of an element here of that opposites attract. Very good for, for your relationship sector, for those signs to be coming out. And then what are their long-term goals? Again, for some of you, it feels like children. Children might be on the mind if that has been something that you guys are interested or desiring. Your person may be the one to come to you and express that desire to maybe start a family or to add another to the mix, something like that. Especially with these three cards, there's definitely huge elements of pregnancy again. So if you're not looking for that, just be careful. Do with that information what you will. But also Page of Cups is being able to be more vulnerable around each other. Some of you, it feels like you're at the point where you're able to express things about your past that maybe were always kept secret, or things that were hidden because they were very sensitive topics, things that made you vulnerable, things that gave you a little bit of anxiety. It feels like you're in a safe spot. You're with a person who allows kind of this open communication and back and forth where you're able to express yourself in ways that you weren't able to previously. And this is very specific to this reading, but for this Page of Cups, I'm also getting the idea of one of your goals, and I'm not sure how this relates to the relationship, is to pursue some sort of artistic talent or artistic endeavor. Maybe you're with a partner who really supports you putting your life in that direction, if that's something that's fell by the wayside. Or I don't know, for those who are artists or interested in learning some sort of skill or hobby, or I don't know what it is, but it's like your person is like, yeah, you should absolutely do that. And so you seem to be delving more into it. And it's like, I think you're tapping into all this good energy around them and how they make you feel about yourself, and you're able to tap into something new that progresses possibly your career, or you're just finding yourself exploring some new topic of interest or hobby that it just brings you so much joy and elation, and you're with somebody who supports that versus someone who's just like, ugh, like whatever. Like they're rooting for you. They're genuinely interested in what you're gonna produce from this. But in terms of goals with them, yeah, either children or, again, more expression, more sharing of the emotion, letting your guard down, feeling like you can kind of exhale a little bit, and possibly healing family issues as well, if that's a thing for you. In terms of the action this person is going to take, Knight of Swords, they're absolutely going to have an exciting conversation with you. They have something important they want to discuss, but I like this Knight of Swords because he seems like he's at a good pace. He's not rushing things. He's not like just, talking shit, or that's not really the word I was looking for. He's not, it's versus like the Gemini Knight of Swords. This feels more Virgo to me, and I mean that because of like the Mercury placements. It's like it's more thought out. There's more strategy in this discussion. It's like it's coming from a place of, is this practical? Is the choices we're making? Is the conversation we're having? Is it good? Is it useful? Are we using our words wisely? Right? It's not just this like rushed firing off 1,000 texts that have no substance. Like there's an important conversation, but also he's smiling. So it's not like this series like, hey, we have to have a talk. It's like, yeah, of course not. Like you got the Sun and the Ace of Cups. This looks beautiful. This looks absolutely beautiful. Where's Aquarius in all this? Can I pull some cards for where's Aquarius at with this person? The World. So you're showing up as feeling completed, feeling like you have achieved some sort of circumstance of which you're very proud. You may have achieved some sort of recent goal in your life. It's a card of culminations, graduations. We just had that full moon in Cancer, so maybe there's sort of more light being shed on the idea of family, the concept of family, who you want to move in with, like something to do with the home. And yeah, feeling like you've achieved some sense of stability or just something you're very proud about yourself. Like you're entering into a new cycle and able to leave the past in the past and look optimistically to the future. I like that. And it's not to say it didn't come without challenge, right? Ultimately, it is a Saturn card, but it's like the achievement of Saturn. Like you become the master of something. That sounds kind of like BDSM. I'm the master. Just kidding. All right, what are you feeling? What are you sensing? The Oak King. So, there's a couple things I could say about this. I think you're starting to see things from a new perspective. I think some of you are absolutely contemplating the next step in this relationship. Again, whether that's moving in together, family, marriage, whatever that is. I think you are warming up to the idea where it seems like your person is actually ready to have that conversation. I think you dream about it. I think you kind of fantasize, or maybe not fantasize, but like envision what that would look like. I think you're trying to get a pulse on how that would feel. But it is ultimately Neptune energy associated with Pisces, so there is some watery energy going on there. I think the feelings are there, but I think it would be a major change. I think it would be a major transition, and so you're not wanting to rush into it without properly thinking it through, and that's cool. That's admirable, right? What are you communicating? The Star. Long-term goals, dreams, and wishes. I think you're communicating about yourself, too. As we said earlier, there's something about this person where they allow you to be vulnerable and express things about yourself that you feel like always were hidden or just, I don't know, it's like clenched. Something it's like there's an ability to like be at ease and relax into this relationship and feel safe and comforted. So for you may be speaking just a lot more about your life and your world and your experiences and your background and where you've come from and, what's made you you. I actually really like that. You're coming from an authentic place because you're speaking about yourself and what you want and what's important. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean, yeah, it's like both people are showing up in a good energy. I like that. You may also be talking about healing as well, too. Sometimes the Star card is like a healer of sorts. And again, having visions for the future. I think you're talking about the future. Your ultimate goals with this person. Yeah, you're breaking bread. You're opening the forum up for open discussion, or however you want to say it. And again, okay, so the Devil's showing up here too. So I think you're talking openly about your fears and things that you're not 100% sure on. And, your own insecurities and like, yes, I love you. And yes, I want to start a family, or yes, I want to move in together. But I also know that sometimes I have little struggles of depression and I want to make sure I show up in my best version for you. And I don't know. I think you're being really open and honest. And I think it's being met with also like similarly open and honest, like, oh, that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that with me. But there's by no means this like, there's not a lot of conflict in this reading. This just, the Leo reading was kind of similar as well. This feels like you guys maybe have more of a foundation together. And I'm saying that because Leo is showing up in your reading a little bit here, but yeah, like this looks nice. And I mentioned this earlier in jest, but sometimes with the devil, there can be kind of like a kinky energy to it too. So maybe you guys are like opening up your sex life a little bit more. Maybe there's more discovery and the ability to ask for what you want and what you need and what you desire. And, you know, I did say the word fantasize earlier, right? So there may be some new discussions on how you're mixing it up in terms of how you're expressing yourselves and how you're showing your desire for this person, which I think that's cool. I just heard dance. I don't know what that means, but all right. So then in terms of your action towards this person, Aquarius's action, if any, towards their person, the Eight of Wands. Yeah. Moving places, messages going back and forth, skilled communication. And for me, it feels like there was something that needed to be discussed. Not that it was a sticky point, but it was almost like the elephant in the room. It was like something that you both were kind of sensing and feeling, and like there was like a psychic connection of, I feel like we should talk about this thing. And so it finally gets brought out in the open. And again, there's like equal amounts of like relief and just like, oh, I got that off my chest. Like I finally said that thing, and like it's actually brought us closer together. So it feels like things are in order. That's how I would describe it with this Eight of Wands. It's like we're putting things on the table and we're able to look at them with clarity in daylight and not have this like shadowy thing hidden away that we're afraid to say or we're afraid to project or we're afraid to communicate. It's like, no, it's like open forum. Like this person is a very skilled communicator, as are you, which I think is important for any sign, but especially for the air signs. You have to be with someone who can do the back and forth with you, or else it's kind of a waste of time, right? For Aquarius, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. And then true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Yeah, Aquarius, you may have the best reading so far. Not that it's a competition, but you know, it's nice to know that you have really good energy here. So if this person isn't in your life yet, manifest it. You know, the Ace of Cups, it could be new. But you already know who this is. That's what I'm being guided to say. Aquarius. Is there anything that wants to come through for Aquarius's reading? Ooh, that popped right out. Let's see. Cut down, cutting out, separation, stop the pattern, the silent treatment. Interesting. I didn't get any negative vibes from this reading, so maybe it's cutting things out of your life that are no longer useful. I don't know. With the World card, maybe it's cutting out self-doubt or self-criticism or getting rid of excess, things you don't need, because it feels like, you know, if you guys are moving in together, maybe there's a need to energetically make space for new stuff coming in. I don't know. I'm open to that. It makes me think very earthy energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Maybe just symbolically that is important for some of you. I don't know. I gotta have faith it came out for a reason, but I'm not exactly sure what that's in reference to. And maybe there was a separation here and you guys come back together, but my God, if you guys are coming back together, this is like the Cinderella story because the energy seems so good. Maybe this is a friendship that turns into something more. Curious. And then shock, sudden change, shocking news, surprise and epiphanies and transformation. Perfect card for Aquarius, right? That kind of Uranian ruled sign. I love that. Out of the complete blue, this person's like, yeah, I love you. Let's get married. And death, relationship is over. No second chances. Growth and transformation. What's dead is dead. I don't know, you guys. Please, like, comment below if you are courageous enough to do so, because I get wonderful vibes from this. I don't have one card that I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. So I'm interested. Does it involve a Scorpio? I don't know. Is it transitioning from like life stages? Like it's never going to be friendship again after this point. It's like it's set in stone that, you know, we're married now or we're moving in. I don't know. I almost view death as like, yeah, it's a major shift in the cycle of your time with this person. But I think it's for the better. It's like, again, looking at skeletons in the closet, you know, things we need to release and let go of. You're able to do it cathartically with this person. So I love this reading. I'm going to say it. I hope you do too. Maybe this person has helped you through a very difficult time in your own grieving. You know, it's possible that, you know, things external to you, maybe you did lose someone close to you. And I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying maybe you guys have been through some very intense emotional experiences together, and that has sort of helped solidify the fact that this is your person. The shock of like, I can't imagine myself being with anyone else. I don't know why I just felt guided to say that. Zodiac signs, Leo, Gemini, Cancer, and Aries. All right. So possibly, you know, those signs may be coming through in this reading. And then patient. Wait for the fruit to ripen. That feels very like pregnancy vibes to me. Finally, for Aquarius, Goddess Oracle card for Aquarius. Let's see. Mary of Miracles. So we'll read about that. Let's see. Page 31. Again, that breaks down to 4, right? So that makes me think of the Empress. You pregnant. Or somebody in your life, maybe. I don't know. The talk of children or babies, that might be coming to the forefront. Have you stopped believing in miracles? Do you think that they are only for others or doubt their existence? Could it be that you've been reading and watching the news too often and so finding yourself feeling powerless and despondent? Or has the dry spell of your life gone on so long that you even stopped looking for water? Have no fear. The Goddess Mary, Mother of Miracles, has a message for you. This is all about your mindset. This moment is an opportunity to turn things around, and it begins with your thinking. What if you remembered that your repeated thoughts, feelings, and beliefs call the world into form? What if you recommitted your co-creative partnership with the divine and from there chose another way to experience your life? You have the power of Mary, the Mother of Miracles, running through your veins. She did not need the seed of a man from outside of her to birth a miracle. Interesting, birth a miracle. In the same way, you do not need your outer world to change first. You do not need someone to rescue you, love you, or take you away. You are the one you've been waiting for. You need to only choose how you will respond to your current reality and focus on a day at a time in service to the miracle of life. What is for you has its own divine timetable. Your alignment task is to remember that. All right, Aquarius, thanks for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you so desire. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye.